Shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yabushai, Ba'ashim Rakakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers on Donga Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopefully elect. This is your brother Rai Banyamian, here to share another lesson. And title of this lesson is Crime Will Cause Many to Flee into His Own Land. The last portion of that title I got from the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter and the 14th verse, which I will grab later on after playing this video. So as you'll see, as per the title from ABC 24 Memphis, it says co-owner of South Memphis gas station burglarized by large crowd plans to move. And all this is part of biblical prophecy, which I will get into with a few scriptures. So, this is fair use to ABC 24 Memphis. My channel is not monetized. I am using your news article video for educational and edification purposes. Alright, so I will play the video. Lord willing, the elect be edified. See if I could change the screen setting.
New video tonight you'll see only on ABC 24. Video you might not believe if you weren't seeing it with your own eyes. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Richard Ransom.
And I'm Pepper Baker. A South Memphis gas station ransacked with up to $20,000 worth of stuff taken. Dozens of cars pulled into the gas station parking lot all at once Saturday night. And at least 40 people get out, and once inside, they steal clothes, candy, food, and beer, all within 10 minutes before Memphis police finally showed up.
Our Zari Oz has the latest with one of the workers who was held at gunpoint.
This is the security camera footage at the Fill and Go. Take a look behind me. This is the moment that dozens of people start filing into this parking lot just before they go in to steal multiple items costing this gas station thousands of dollars. Many of them are teenagers, some are children, others are adults with the children. And it's not the first time either.
It was like 20, 30 cars. The second time, I would say that about 50 to 60, 70 cars.
Salah Hudaib, a co-owner of the store, was there as thieves ripped through the shelves.
It was like a group of people keep coming in. There were too many people.
Hudaib and one of the cooks did their best to move people out of the store, but the thieves had guns.
He took it on me like this. I was like, he got the battle situation to get that machine gun on me. And I was like, that's it, that's stop. I'm not doing anything, just go inside, do whatever you want to do.
The cook didn't want to speak on camera, but who can blame him? He has 7 kids at home and says he was just trying to make it back to them. Hudaib is so tired of it, he told me he's moving out of the state.
For the last 3 years, every Saturday between 6 and 8 o'clock. We grew up every Sunday between 8 to 10 o'clock.
Especially with it taking MPD the entire time of a robbery to get there. It wasn't until nearly all of the vehicles were gone that they pulled up.
Right now, it took them like between 25 to 35 minutes to show up.
The store is back up and running as usual now, but it's leaving the owners with more questions than anything, especially a question for the city as to what they're going to do to intervene with the amount of violence happening across the Bluff City. In South Memphis, I'm Zaria Oates.
Black Friday flash.
Alright, and that brings us to the end of the video. Alright, so a few very telling things in that video that script here pertains to, and I'll grab that first and foremost in the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter and the 14th verse. And it says, and it shall be as a chaste roe, right, which I believe is like that is of a deer family. But let's confirm. Alright, a gazelle, roebuck. Alright, so like a buck. Let's confirm something else. Let's go here. A row. Let's try roebuck. It says male of the roe deer, right? So like a deer species type of animal, right? It says, reading again, Isaiah 13 and 14, and it shall be as a chase roe and as a sheep that no man take it up. So a man that would take up a sheep would be considered a guardian or shepherd, right? As you all see at the end of the video, the police came when all the crime, died down. The thefts had left. They arrived and the theft had left, right? So if the shepherd, were present, the shepherd would have fought off the deer, right? So these police are considered as a guard or a shepherd over the people to prevent, harm and danger from coming upon them. So that guy and his store was taken, right? Because there was no shepherd or no guard involved. It says, "They shall every man turn to his own people, and every one into his own land." Right? So as you all see, probably look East Indian. Right? So when it says, to his own people, every man should turn to his own people, that is a nation, right? A nation of people, persons, members of one country, members of one's people, compatriots, countrymen, kinsmen, kindred, right? And flee everyone into his own land. Right, we go into land, his own land. Right, it says district for the dung beheading for land. It says country, territory, district, region, tribal territory. Right, a piece of land going down, inhabitants of a land. So he would go into a land where his kin is common, right? People that look like him, because most time these gas stations are in Jake neighborhood. So he is gonna flee into a land where his kin is common. You understand? Where there's probably more safety there, right? Or what he perceived as safety, right? So all these things are prophecy. These are the beginning, of sorrows. So can you imagine we are still living in a time when there's a functional government, functional city government structures, police, banks, schools. These things are still functional. Jobs, the money, you could still, buy grocery even at the elevated cost. You can still buy groceries, so on and so forth. Can you imagine when the dollar crashes or there's a grid down type situation, how these people is going to behave and kill one another in these streets? And next book I want to grab is, as we should all know, the book of 2nd Esdras. I'll read the 15th chapter first and 19th verse. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So as you'll see, one of the robbers, he pointed a gun at the store, one of the store clerk. You understand? So that would be considered a sword in modern day time, to spoil his goods, to steal his goods. You understand? Right now we are not in the time of lack of bread yet. These people, they can work to obtain, food, clothing, and shelter. You understand? But the time of, the great tribulation, great testing, the great trials, Jacob's trouble is not far ahead. Last portion of script here I'm going to visit before closing out is in the book of 2nd Esdras. The 16th chapter. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but I'm going to start at the 18th verse. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and this is happening now, right? And the beginning of wars, because we are in the time with the time of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. These are evil times, right, that we are living in. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So this is Ezra's inquiring, what would be his case when these things come about. So jumping down to verse 45, it says, and therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods. You understand? Now all these times is in the time of the end, where a lot of men would be departed from society, either via great debts, amount of debts, the various wars that they would be sent to, leaving a land greatly void of men, right, except for the elect. And we are getting into that time right now. And even now, the things that people work for is all going to come to an end, because when they crash the monetary system, people will not have the monies that they have in their accounts. And when those things go, they will not be able to pay for their housing. They will not be able to upkeep their vehicles, their registrations, pay their light bills, so on and so forth. So a lot of people will be desolate and in the streets. And as you all saw, he labored, right, to own that store and all the goods therein, right? For strangers shall reap their goods and reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives, right? So a lot of people is going to be kidnapped, right? For in captivity and famine shall they get children. So a lot of people is getting ready to be taken. Verse 47, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, as you all see those thieves, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Most High. So this is to the poor, right, and to the wealthy that take riches upon themselves through robbery. So the Most High is not with these guys that robbed the store. So this guy Corona from South Memphis gas station, he is thinking, or he has plans to move, and this will only get worse. So good up, get your hearts right with Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai before it is too late. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Shalom.